Hey, wonderful people. Hey. Um, for some of you, ooh, there's still time to come out of the matrix. But some of you just want to stay there. Um, no judgment is each to their own, innit? Free will. Mm. No one can force you to do anything you don't want to do. No one has the right to force you to do anything you don't want to do, which is why God gave everybody free will. You don't belong to you. Ultimately, you belong to God. Even those that sold their soul can still be enlightened. I know this. But then you have some of you that are using it for, let's say, malignant intent, or not for the right purposes. But for me, my title was earned. You don't just get it like that. You have to experience a lot, you know? And with that being said, and still keep a pure heart and not hold resentment or be bitter. And your heart has to be pure and light as a feather, basically, because you can be weighed on your heart. Do you understand? But doing magic in order to change someone's free will is a big spiritual no-no. Playing with darkness is a big spiritual no-no. And there's levels to that also. I know because I've experienced it myself. With that being said, I'm super glad to be here. Some of us have ancestral curses, or we have ancestral, what do you call it, debts you have to clear, karmic debts you have to clear, which you may not have cleared in your previous lifetime, or it just carried over to this lifetime. But for me, I was taken out in many lifetimes. Yeah. Followed by the same people, the same dark, malevolent spirits that have tried the same stunt in this lifetime. But lucky for me, God saved me. Oh, yes, He did. And I'm super glad. Because if He didn't, and I never awakened to my ancestral inheritance and my God given gifts, there's a big difference. God given gifts. And you can't steal that. Yes, I'm an earth angel. Yes, I'm an empath. Yes, I am a lot of things all rolled into one big ball of energy. Which since a child was being stolen and harvested, should I say, harvested, which is why certain things, topics you talk about, it's got to be age appropriate. So I have to separate the two, like one for people of my age and another for teenagers and children, if that makes any sense. But this is about surrendering. You have to surrender. Because lo and behold, we all have gifts. This is about tapping into it. But society puts you in a position where you're lost, or you feel lost or abandoned. And 9 times out of 10, your own family is a catalyst of these things also. I know because I've lived it. Yeah, I've lived it. With that being said, I'm still here. But to have your own so-called family that take you out, that is just that's a whole nother story. Let's just say that. Um, I am divinely guided, highly divinely protected, highly. We all have our own angels. That's what you don't realize. Because you know they say God will not give you no more than you can bear, and that's true. Because even when you think you can't bear something, if you just keep hope and have faith, sit in solitude, pray, meditate, call out for God's guidance, you know, and depending what kind of lifetimes you've had, you get put in the queue system. You don't get answered just like that, you know. So it is a lot to learn, but it can be learned. That's the thing. Anybody could change, you know. To fill this type of seat has to be earned, which I'm also now becoming aware that karmic high priestesses obviously paid to get that title, but that's not of God, you know. That's just basically the same as selling your soul. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of these people have sacrificed people purely to steal other people's destinies. That's another big spiritual no-no, which is why a lot of people now will be getting. I dread to think about it, the type of karma, which I'm not about to burden myself with that, you know, because that's their choice. Which is why, again, I will reiterate when I say, God says free will. You gotta want it, and let's be very clear. You don't just earn these gifts or earn. You won't just unlock your gifts or you won't just get these talents just like that. God will test you every step of the way, and then you'll get extra tests. He'll give you. Once He speaks to you, He will tell you how He will change your life. He will show you what you need to see. All you got to do is ask, you know. But on the flip side of it, if you feel like you're being attacked or if you're going through a certain situation or certain predicaments in your life, I can guarantee you it probably is spiritual, which means voodoo, witchcraft, black magic, that sort of thing. That's also been done to me my whole life. Yeah. And I could have, me of all people, would have the, how can I say it? I would have every right to feel like that, but I still, and God gave me a choice anyway, and I made the right choice. I didn't choose darkness. No, 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 no. You know, which was a blessing. And that was also a test. You know, we're always being tested at every step of the way. Even when He tells you what's around the corner, it's always got to be in divine timing, which I've had to learn that also. You don't just get things just like that, which is why we'll go back to there are people that want to have the title but not do none of the work. Yes, I know who they are and they know who they are. Let's just say that much. So, yeah. And you have to grow and see life through a different perspective and get rid of the old way of doing things, the old way of thinking, you know, the old way of dealing with certain tough situations, you know. But if you're of worldly goods and you're just materialistic, it's pointless because you have to go through certain things in order to even get to this kind of level. But then when you're being attacked spiritually and you don't know what, you haven't got a clue what it is. I went within, or I was guided to. So yeah. And the thing about it is, I can guarantee you that your own family knew about it whilst you was born, like whilst you was a child. And they hide it from you. Usually as the scapegoat, the black sheep, so to speak. in order to be their narcissistic supply, which is what I was. And the only way for them to siphon your energy as a child, we all know, is sexually. Do you understand? And then once they do that, they attach cords to you, energetic cords, which means they can orchestrate anything in your life. And that's also what was done to me. I had to break so many chains. You know, I had to destroy so many ancestral curses and family bloodline curses. And that shit wasn't easy, you know. You get the opportunity every lifetime. Some of us don't even step into it purely because they don't want to do that hard work or they don't want to be awakened, you know. But I chose to take the blinders off, you know, so to speak, because it was something new, it was different. And that also was another test because obviously God says free will in it. But he says you have to make the choice. He knows within your heart what choice you're gonna make, but he'll just watch and see what path you're gonna choose to take. Now I chose the path. They say I chose the path most less traveled. Which means I chose the path of God, but I chose the righteous path. So with that being said, I had to also change my mindset. I had to remove myself and detach myself from everything of the world, you know, and surrender myself, you know, and then God did the rest. And then the minute I did that, He illuminated a lot of things to me, which of course would upset you because we're all just energy, really, you know, having a human experience. So, with that being said, we then come to what used to show you in movies and stuff like that about like demons, witches, warlock. You really believed yourself, oh, that's just the movies. Well, where did they get the idea from? Yeah. A lot of people want to think, oh, that doesn't exist or the devil doesn't exist. And that's the biggest trick of all. Believing he doesn't exist. When you believe he doesn't exist, it's game over for you. Because 9 times out of 10, because you don't believe it exists, it's more than likely you've already got attachments attached to you anyway, you know? Binding spells, all that type of madness. Where someone wants to bind themselves to you to basically siphon and energy, just call them energy vampires, where they just suck all your energy. And then they can build any kind of life they want and manifest whatever they want from your energy. Yeah, because I was stuck in that loop for decades. But it started with, maybe it's with my mum. I had a karmic father, stepfather. That's how mine started. Yeah. But now it's judgment season. So all those involved in my situation are now catching the karma that they should have got decades ago. But with that being said, it's actually bigger than me now. Because lo and behold, to me, because of the path they chose, remember they chose, they had to divulge in certain other types of unsavory activities. Let's just say that much. Yeah, and I never did. But at the same time, all the activities they indulged in, I experienced that at some level through my childhood, and that's a whole nother seminar. Let's just say that it's a lot. It is a lot. But the main thing I'm trying to make is the power you holds, the power we all hold naturally. But in order for you to access or have those powers unlocked, you have to do the work, which some people chose not to. They chose the easy route, and that's up to them. I'm not going to judge them or even burden myself with trying to understand why they chose the things they chose or why they did the things they did. The only thing I'm interested in is my own path. Do you know what I mean? Doing God's work and being obedient. Mm, yeah. Oh, you watching. So, with that being said, no good deed goes unpunished. What's done in the dark always comes to light. And it's a case where you have to strip yourself of everything. That means addictions, desires, overeating, ego, everything. And live in solitude, which is what some people can't do. Yeah. But for me, it kind of come easy purely for the fact of how I grew up, you know? Yeah. And then you got to let go of all what you was taught and all what you was, how should I say, brainwashed with, and start from a clean slate. And I think that's what some people can't hack because they just expect it to be a case where there's like a deadline or a timeline for them. It doesn't work like that. It's all in divine timing. You don't pick and choose when anything happens. It doesn't work like that. I know only too well because I've already been through it. So, yeah. And you know when you're on the right path, when you stick to whatever God told you to do, however He told you to do it. And one thing you can't ask is, oh, how long? You can't ask that. It doesn't work like that. It's when God knows 100% you're not just going to do the work just to gain the gifts and then resort straight back to darkness, which a lot of people have done. And I understand why it takes longer, 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 you know? But then you have to ascend to different levels. And that's after you've broken any ancestral curses that may have been put on your family bloodline. That shit ain't easy either. You know? That shit ain't easy. You have to face all the things that you feared, and that is literally put in your face one after the other relentlessly. So it's like it's to me, it didn't feel like a test at first. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't feel like a test at first. It just felt like I was being tortured all over again until I understood why uh these things was being put in my face. As well as being attacked by people that had no business attacking me out of their own jealousy, which is why they're getting their karma now. And I have nothing to say on that one. No comment. You know, that's on them. You know, I'm responsible for how I choose to respond. Yeah. Which takes me back to how people obtain your energy. Mm. And they think because they've been doing it for so long, or that's what they made a living out of doing, their ego gets too big. Till they think to themselves, everybody's stupid. But that's their insecurities, not yours. From you know you're doing what God exactly what God told you to do. You have nothing to prove to nobody. Point blank period. And that's how I've moved every single day. But that's the society we live in, you see. People are just there's a lot more narcissists than you actually think. There's a lot more evil and sad, bitter people than you realize. And the funny thing is, these are people that have gained so much from the misfortune and the energy harvesting of others. Even the things they do to people to try and sabotage their life or stop them is really sad. But like I said, when you stick to what God's told you to do, nothing can touch you at all. And once you ascend, well, that's another thing. The ascensions, the higher you ascend, is the more side effects you get. Let me tell you, that shit hurts. I'm not gonna lie. If I said it didn't, that would be a lie. So I'm not about to do that. Unlike some people, every ascension was different, but you felt some type of ailment somewhere, all different kinds of ailments, which, yeah, you have to find out for yourself because obviously, like I said, everybody's different in it. So my symptoms may not be the same as someone else's, you know. And the thing is, when people know you're going through certain ascensions, also as well, they assume, I don't understand, I don't even know why, but they just assume that, oh, that must mean that person is going to be easier to attack. No, that's very stupid. You might think that, but you got to realize you're always surrounded by angels, recording angels that see everything. So the more you attack someone that's going for an ascension, all you're doing is making them ascend even quicker. Not only that, for the fact that you thought you could attack them whilst you're ascending, you're insulting the Most High yourself, blatantly, point blank period. You're insulting the Most High. And let's be clear, you will get judgment, harsh judgment, harsh judgment. I don't even want to know how harsh that judgment would be, but all I know is what I was shown. So he said, make a choice. Let me tell you something. Whilst I went into meditation and I was astral projecting, you're made to, how can I say? I think everybody's is different, but for mine, you have to do a walk on your own. And the walk you got to walk through, whatever your biggest fear is, that's what's put in front of you. Yeah, and most people probably want to turn back, but I didn't. I gritted my teeth and I soldiered on through that bitch until I got through to the other side, let me tell you. And I didn't know what to expect, But there's different levels to that, if that makes any sense. And it wasn't pretty, it wasn't nice. It wasn't easy one bit. There were times I wanted to give up, I'm not gonna lie. But then something in my mind said, nah, just see what's on the other side. So I just kept going and you stay focused, From you can do that and you can ascend, let me tell you. No demonic soul seller narcissist can do anything to stop you. Which is why it took like a whole community of people and they still failed. Why? Because they had wicked intent. There's a big difference. I never had wicked intent, ever. Yes, ever. So all the shit that was done whilst I was doing what I was doing, just went over my head. I don't let people think that affect you. So they think they're going to use your triggers against you. Wrong. It doesn't work like that. Once you ascend and you raise your vibrations, it doesn't even affect you. You get it. Put it this way, you're protected from all these things. Little do you know, God protects you from all these things. Your angels protect you from all these things. Your ancestors, let me tell you, they don't play. Even the fact that I was shown just a little bit of what they had to endure. And I didn't like that at all. Literally like, and I think that is what put the fire in my belly, like, nah. If I don't do this for myself, I have to do this to leave my legacy for my children, you know, understand? So I would want them to have to go through what I went through. That's why I did it, you know, which is why anybody that, whatever path they chose, is up to them. There's no judgment, you know, because everybody's perception is not going to be the same. But the only difference is God ain't going to lie to you like the devil and the people that sell their soul to the devil. Point blank, period. God ain't going to lie to you. Even the gifts I have, that's between me and God, nobody else. Point blank, period. Between me and God and nobody else. What I choose to show the world is what I choose to show the world, but is God ordained. There's a big difference. There's things that you're not supposed to even talk about. The best kept secret. So yes, I was the secret weapon hidden in plain sight. And my family knew it. Even the people they orchestrated in my life, some of them knew it too. They just chose to play dumb and like, oh, they didn't know, but they knew because they was told multiple times, they was warned multiple times, but they still continued with the same conduct. And I'm not here to judge why they didn't do shit, you know. But for me, that's on them. Psh, I'm not gonna burden myself with that. Nah. You know what I mean? Because I know what I have. Oh, yeah. But for me, there's a reason why I did it for the experience. And because as a child, I saw things people didn't. I sensed things people didn't, you know. I knew things that I didn't understand how I knew these things when I know that my parents and my family didn't teach me anything, you know. And with that being said, I'm glad I did. I'm glad. I'm so glad. So I'm grateful for everything I have. What little I have, you know, because I'm not materialistic, it means nothing to me. You can always survive off the planet. So those that done what they done, what do you expect me to say? Other than that was your choice, isn't it? So now you have to take responsibility for all your dealings. Every single one you're going to be held accountable for. Everybody you're involved is going to be held accountable for. Yeah. And with that being said, I have to keep it short and sweet purely because I believe in self-love and self-care. And yeah, in moderation. Let's just say that. So, I'll leave that for another video. But I'm here in the flesh, happy. I know all that was done. I know everything. Even what you think I don't know, let's be clear. I know. I know, you know. I know about the smear campaign, the lies, the slander, the paying people, the sex trafficking. I know it all. So when you think what you think I don't know, I know everything. And you wanna know why? Because God showed me. But he said keep it to myself. And that's exactly what I did do. Because unlike some people, I believe God over anybody, any day of the week. Doesn't matter. You could be my own child. I would believe God over anybody first. Point blank, period. So, everybody have a good weekend. The person that's spying, tools. But yeah, live and let live. Because ascension is real. God exists and so does the devil. And people do sell their souls, evidently, as you can see. So all the spell work, Look at me now. Mm-hmm.